Welcome to ADCO Aviation. On the first video, I ended with building the first spar. In this short video, I'll show you what it took about a month to complete in just a couple of minutes. I finished building all 4 spars. I then temporarily set up the first wing just to see what it might look like. I had some questions about the plans and reached out to Leonard and both forums, the Eagler's Nest and Facebook. I can't say enough just how great the fellow builders are on these forums. Thank you guys for all your input. Leonard answered the questions, so I also posted the clarification on the forums for all that may have the same questions in the future. So I went on to continue work on my build. I made the plywood block covers and 8 plywood doublers to go under the brackets on the root end of each wing, as well as plywood doublers for the strut braces. I also decided it was time to make the wing mounting brackets. The kit came with 1-inch wide aluminum 6061, I believe, flat bar. I took my angle grinder with a cutoff wheel and chopped it to 6 3/4 inch lengths. We'll need 16 of those. I took one of the brackets and drew out the center line and marked 1/2 inch from one end, then 2 7/8, and then 2 7/8, leaving 1/2 inch to the other end. I drilled only the outer 2 1/4 inch holes. This was my template for all 16 brackets. I drilled the first hole and all remaining 15 pieces. Then, using a bolt between the template and the next bracket, I can drill the second hole exactly the same in the remaining 15 brackets. I then drilled the center hole in my template and repeated the process for the center hole in 7 of the pieces. As for the last 8 brackets, the plan says not to drill into the spar cap, so I laid out the strut brackets and verified the correct location of the middle hole for the remaining 8 brackets. For my build, the 2 1/4 inch measurement just barely misses the spar cap, so I drilled the remaining 8 brackets at 2 1/4 inches. I was then able to make a little jig from some scrap aluminum. I drilled a 1/4 inch hole about 3/8 of an inch from the edge, countersunk the bottom side for the head of the bolt, and was able to clamp this to my sander. I used this for all brackets and the 8 plywood doublers for the root end brackets. For the plywood, I set the pin 1 inch away from the sanding disc and swung the wood from side to side. Here's a little video I took showing the jig in action. I tried to lighten it up some. Sorry for the poor video quality. But I thought this would show how easy this jig made it to round the ends and make all the pieces the same. Once the doublers were done and sanded, I went on to the brackets, moved the jig to 1/2 inch away from the sander, and just had to go a little slower than with the wood, but I was pleased to have 16 almost identical brackets. I didn't have any aircraft nails to attach the ribs to the spars, and I really wasn't crazy about driving nails into the 1/4 inch cap strips, so I came up with these clamps made of scrap wood I had laying around. I cut 11 1x2s or similar, about 12 inches long. I then cut 11 2x2s, about 12 inches long, glued and tacked approximately 1 inch thick block. It's the thickness of the spar width and the 1/4 inch rib upright. I tacked and glued that block to the top and drilled a hole approximately 6 or 7 inches from the bottom. I ran a screw through this hole into one of the 1x2s, which seems to hold pretty well. Hopefully soon I'll update you on how well these clamps worked. But I just wanted to give you a quick update on my Legal Eagle XL build. I hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe it can answer some questions you may have, or even encourage you to start a build like this. If you want to start from the beginning of this build, I'll place a link to the playlist in the YouTube description. If you like it, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you'll click the bell notification, you'll get a notice every time I upload another video. Thanks, happy building, and be safe.